Okay, so welcome back everybody. So now we'll be going over Barking Irons. So I've gone over 52 card pickup. So basically, I'll give you a quick rundown as to what Barking Irons is as a variation. So Barking Irons is like well, he's no Swiss Army knife. Let's put it that way. Barking Irons immediately suffers from much. So Barking Irons immediately suffers from more counter pick issues because he no longer has scud shot. He only has his rifle and he can't go prone in it. So his ability to crush projectiles doesn't work as well. He just has access to these two projectiles from the stance and that's it. So he can be zoned out pretty badly. But the capabilities you lose from back here are made up for at this range. This is where Barking Irons excels. He wants to be in your face. Whereas 52 card pickup can kind of do everything. Barking Irons, you want to use your tools to close in and just stay in your opponent's face and beat the living crap out of them. Mix them up and just finish them. That's basically what you want to do in Barking Irons. After the patch, Barking Irons was actually given more of a place since 52 card pickup got nerfed. Barking Irons is kind of the he's kind of the dark horse of the two Erron Black variants because when the game was first released, 52 card pickup was so good. Hardly anyone ever even gave Barking Irons a look because they thought, well, what's the point? It was like with MKX, Outlaw Erron Black's variation back then was so good. No one really bothered to look at Marksman. Marksman, if you knew how to use him, was really effective, and that's the exact same thing with Barking Irons. They kind of play fairly similarly. They both have they both have cancels. They can cancel specials, forward 4 and back forward 3. You can cancel both of them for different reasons, and as I shall explain later on. But yeah, that's what Barking Irons does. So in some respects, I actually think Barking Irons is more superior to 52 card pickup, particularly at this range, because not only does Barking Irons have the two cancels, he gains access to this. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a tick throw, and as we all know, tick throws, well, how do I put this? It's basically a split pin being inserted straight into the hole at the tip of your penis and then being pried open. That's what a tick throw is. That's what it means to have to deal with a tick throw. It's a bitch. Basically, if you don't know what a tick throw is, it's basically a throw which you cannot break, which can then link on block off certain strings. So, for instance, forward down 3 ticks, forward 3 ticks. Does standing 1 tick? No, it doesn't. Okay, so it's down 3. Forward 3. Does anything else tick? I don't remember. Down 1 ticks, yeah. So, down 1. Yeah, that's the 3. So, down 1, down 3, forward 3. They all tick on block. Meaning, if the opponent blocks, regardless of whether it's crouch guarding or standing guard, they'll get hit with a tick. And that immediately changes the way you use Erron Black. It's a completely different variation to 52 card pickup because they don't play the same. Whereas 52 card pickup, you could use Scud Shot to make your strings safe, and even then you were at risk. With Barking Irons, you have your slide, which actually makes you safe. You cannot punish -4. You just can't. So you can do that. Well, this actually puts you at -7. So back 2-2 is -4. Back 2-2-2 is -7. Bear that in mind, because obviously you want to stay as safe as possible, and back 2-2 is safer to use. But if your opponent's respecting, you can just back 2-2-2. But if you back 2-2-2 and your opponent's jumpy, and they know you're -7, they'll be able to take your turn from you because technically it's not actually your turn. Against some characters you will be safe, but it doesn't change the fact that if Cassie did a down 1 out of back 2-2-2 cancel, she'd have her turn, and from down 1 she could pull off forward 4, whatever, you know. So bear that in mind. So Erron Black still has the same base tools. I mean, But because this is Barking Irons and not 52 card pickup, Erron Black can no longer shoot projectiles within his string. So back 1, as you can see, I'm pressing back 1, 2, 2, 2, back 1, 2, 2, sorry. You don't get any shots. You don't get the Outworld Gunslinger attack off standing 3. You don't get any of these moves, so because of that, his combo attacks are significantly reduced. So talk about trimming the fat off the combo attack stage. So you're only left with 3, 4, 7 combo attacks, 8 combo attacks. I'm an idiot. And out of all these combo attacks, you're only really going to be using 2 on 2 on 2, back 2 to 2. That's it. Those are the only combo attacks you'll be using with Barking Irons. And as far as basic attacks, the same thing applies. So down 1, down 3, down 4, forward 2, back 1. That's all you'll be using with this character. So now I'll start to go over, you know, how you would go about using these. So basically, with the slide, you gain access to new pressure, and with the tick, obviously. So I'll go over some basic stuff first. I'll take Cassie off block. So with down 3 and down 1, we can still jail. Okay, but now we gain access to another dimension of what we are able to do off of hit confirming, because normally with 52 card pickup, you just jail 2 on 2 on 2, or you could potentially jail and cancel into scud shot of 2 on 2. And then you have the option to either amplify if you feel your opponent will press, or cancel and then resume pressure if the opponent respects. But with Barking Irons, we can do more, because with 52 card pickup, I mentioned how you can do this. So if your opponent stand guards, because all you have to do is stand guard to block 2 on 2 on 2. If you just stand guard, get hit by back 4, that's great. But because of that, we can do a lot more, because we have access to this tick throw. And also, I want to quickly give you a tip on how to do a tick throw, because tick throws are down, back, forward inputs for the most part, and that can be quite tricky for some people. I mean, on my Xbox controller, I've got an 8-way directional pad, which makes ticking pretty tricky. So what I do is quarter circle back, forward. So I'm not doing down, back, forward. That's much harder for me. So quarter circle back, forward. Quarter circle back, forward. I'll do it on this side as well. Quarter circle back, forward. Don't go down, back, forward. 1. That'll be much harder for you, unless you're playing on keyboard, in which case it's easy, you know, because you have your WASD and you have your arrow key, so you can just be really precise and get it every single time. On a controller, slide your thumb across and do quarter circle back, forward. Quarter circle back, forward. That makes it much easier. So with that in mind, let's go over what you can do. So if you hit confirm a down 1 or a down 3, you can 2-1, you can trip them up. If they start blocking, you know, you can just tick them. You can really mess people up with this move, I swear to God. You can tick. You can do raw ticks, honestly. You can do this, dash in, and tick. You can, honestly, it's brilliant. So let me do this. So stance hold. You do that. Oop, sorry. And just run in and tick. It's brilliant. Also, you can amplify the tick, and you'll get 170 damage. Yeah. So raw, you actually get more damage for doing throws, as you get 140 damage. With the tick throw, you only get 120, but if you amplify it, you'll get more damage. However, that is also really good for us, because what you can do is set up your crushing blow requirements for your backward throw quite easily, because you can't break the tick. So if you you know, if you get acid and you start going for throws, you have that mix up, you know. But then you have this, which they cannot break at all, and then you can just run in and grab them. Because the defense is different, because you can break one, but you can't break the other. And you can actually obtain crushing blow requirement for your backward throw. A little easier, because there's another mind game. There's something else for your opponent to watch out for. It is important to note, the tick is high, so you can, if I set Cassie to down 2, just give me a sec. Hang on. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it will crushing blow, because it's the exact same defense. What was that? Oh, whatever. eBay. So the defense ultimately is the same in that you can crushing blow it off you down 2, however, or just crush it in general. But again, you can't break the tick, so that's something that your opponent has to watch out for. So you can do more of jailing. You have more potential to just mess your opponent up, because off standing 2-1, if that hit confirms, you're +9, and your tick throw is 11 frames, but you can go for it. It'll reach. That's another thing I want to point out. So I'll go over this with forward 2 and back 1. So obviously these are your mids. Forward 2 having more range, back 1 being slightly quicker. I mentioned in the 52 card pickup tutorial, back 1 has the ability to, well, back 1 gives you the ability to just instantly be able to throw your opponent as you are left at a very close range. I went over forward 2 and I told you can't throw, because I mean, there's more pushback, there's more stagger on forward 2. But look at this. Tick will reach. The tick throw has more reach than your regular throw animation. So look at this. Look at that. That's tick's max. That's the max range on the tick. So you can just dash in, be really cheeky, and just snag people and pump them full of lead, and then throw dynamite at them and get some damage. It's really cheeky what you can do with this thing, honestly. Down 4. At that point, you'd expect back 2 to follow up pressure. Just snatch him. Get a tick. Nice damage. It's pretty good. And not a lot of people defend it, and it's really hard to defend. If you want to defend it, the best bet, and this is my opinion, I mean, you can either try and read it, but listen to this. The sound he makes when he actually goes for the animation. So I just, if I'm playing against the Barking Irons, or just a custom Erron Black version which has a tick on it, I try and listen for the sound, the and if I see the animation, I'll just try and down 2 out of it or something like that. I'll just duck it without blocking, then I can get a punish. So that's what you want to do to avoid it. I don't have any other tips, because it is a bit of a tricky one to avoid. But yeah, that's good for us, because we're actually using Barking Irons and the opponent in this case isn't. So so let's carry on. So with back 1 you can throw, back 1 you can start ticking as well, because that'll obviously reach. You can do this, tick them. So you can just do a lot more, and you can confuse your opponent in many ways, because you can just you can control the space just with this throw. You know, you can kind of dictate the distance and just really mess around with your opponent, because, you know, this won't reach, this will, but then you can start micro-dashing, going for actual throws, just to try and build up a crushing blow requirement, you know, and then you can do this, don't do that, and then you can snag them again. It's really cheeky. Also, let me just get this out of the way really quick. This is down back 1. So the issue with this is you can't throw acid raw. You can still deploy acid off the back forward 3, sorry, and then you can do whatever. But you can't actually deploy acid raw because it's been replaced with this piece of shit dynamite move. The one thing I can tell you about this, don't use it. If you get hit by that, I don't know. I really don't know. I have hit people with it, but by accident. I've just kind of, oh no, and then someone's maybe teleported to me, and you just get hit. But never intentionally use it because there's no guaranteed way to actually set it up. I mean, that won't work. And look at the startup, honestly. 62 frames. And look at the cancel. 22 frames just for a cancel. That's just going to start up. You're not safe. You're really not. And even if you amplify. Oh. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not practical. Don't use it. The reason I bring it up also is because your tick throw is down, back, forward one, and your dynamite is down, back one, which is what your acid would normally be. So really try and refine your tick input because you don't want to be throwing dynamite mid-game and potentially costing yourself the entire round or game, potentially. You don't want to be throwing it away because this is such a crap move. Okay, now let's talk about if your opponent blocks, what you can do on block and what your pressure should look like when you start stringing things together. Okay, so to closing distance, we've gone over this. Now let's go over back 2, which again is going to be one of your main pressure strings, one of your main tools, if you will. So back 2, 2, -4, back 2 to 2, -7. Alright, that'll be -20 something. Yeah, the cancel, you have to do it pretty quick. I mean, if you've played Cabal Mean Streak, you have to input the right bumper input quicker than Cabal's Nomad Dash cancel. So you have to be pretty quick. It's a bit tricky to do, but it's not. Once you get used to the timing, it's pretty easy to do. You know, it's not too hard to do. I mean, you shouldn't. I mean, you should have it down maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It's really easy to get used to. I'll just do the input a few times. So you can observe the command history if you are struggling, just to kind of get the timing down. So hopefully that would help you with it. I'd say just for that, just practice it. You should get it pretty easily. So what you could do, now again, I'll go over this quickly. If your opponent is not respecting, they'll be able to down one out of that or whatever. As I should now quickly demonstrate. So I'll pick Cassie. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so I'm Cassie. I'll go to record. Erron Black can't do anything after, so I'll record again. Do it down 4. I get a counter. You know, I could do that. Ooh. You know, so not good. If your opponent knows that they can steal their turn back. If they don't, you can have a lot of fun. As I should now demonstrate. Alright, okay. So, if Cassie's set to block and she doesn't do anything at all, you can go straight into throws. You could do that. You can go into back throw. You can do that. You can go into it. You can tick. You can do a raw tick. You can tick them on block. You can do that. You can do this. You can start chaining things together. You can amplify, get some more damage. Again, his pressure, if he gets going, can be quite scary and can really put people on the back foot. I know this because even pre-patch, I was using 52 card pickup just to get used to the character, but I labbed Barking Irons and I always wanted to learn him because I always found him more enjoyable than 52 card pickup. And then I played against a Barking Irons player in Kombat League, and he mixed the living shit out of me. There's no other way to put it. I beat him the first game, then I got absolutely bodied the next 2 games, and then he took that away. So yeah, good for him. I wish I remembered his game tag, to be honest, but yeah, Barking Irons can be scary if he gets going. So, and again, even if after maybe 5 pressure sequences your opponent starts to down 1, you're still safe, you know, so they can't do anything, and even if they do something, you can just sit back, do nothing, just block, wait for them to finish, wait for a hole, capitalize, like so, and you're rolling again. Again, sometimes the best thing to do is nothing. Sometimes just let your opponents kill themselves. What I mean by that is if your opponent does something pretty dumb, for instance, you can just wait and capitalize on their errors. Maybe they don't even do anything dumb. Maybe they just do something that you anticipate. So if you cancel, I mean, if you cancel, what could be something that your opponent could do? Oh yeah, you could just do this. If your opponent tries to throw you out of this, you can crushing blow or something like that. You know, you can, if they throw, you can do that. You can cancel, go straight to 2-on-2-on-2, get crushing blow. You know, you can consider your options and just play it out, play scenarios out from that. So yeah, bear that in mind. So you could, again, we're back to, you can do all sorts. You can chain all sorts of pressure together. And you can do the exact same thing with back 2-2-2. You can even do stuff like this. You can even do that if you want, if your opponent respects it. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you can even do stuff like this. Shit, I'm sorry. You can even do that. I mean, that's a chunk of chip, and with the addition of a tick throw, that's a lot of your health just gone. So yeah, really good stuff. That's about what, 20%, I think. Let me check. That's 140. Yeah, that'd have been 200 just from pressure. Not even a combo, so that's really good. Okay, so I'll set Cassie to block again. So that covers back to the other string you can cancel off. 2-on-2-on-2. Now, you want to be really careful with this, and I'll show you why. Oops, sorry. You're minus 17. Ouch. And even if you cancel quickly off 2-on-2, you're minus 13. That's not much better. But what that means is, if your opponent, you know, knows this and they spot you frequently going back to this, you can get comboed for free. You know, you can just, your character, the opponent could do whatever they want and just combo you for free straight out of your cancel. So you want to be really careful. As you saw Sonic Fox do this against Aquaman in his stream highlights, if the opponent blocks and respects, you can cancel out the tick. You can do things like this, get stuff like that going, you know, tick them, amplify that, get some more damage, start chipping them out a little bit. Shit, something like that, minus the dynamite obviously. Same thing with 2-on-2. You can do something like that if you want. You can do I was trying to tick. I hope you get the idea. But again, don't live and die from this, because it's not particularly worth it if your opponent knows that they can just do anything to get out of it and punish you at the same time. One thing I want to point out, well, I've just realised, is you will have noticed that obviously I'm sliding. So if you have no meter, so what I'm saying is you want to manage your defensive meter pretty well, because, you know, if you do... That's a nice pressure string. You no longer have any defensive meter, so you can't break away, you can't wake up until it regens. So be very careful about that. Another thing, I've seen this happen to people because I've done it to people. Sometimes you can just let the slide out and they'll still get hit because they're expecting a cancel. So they're just they're not crouch guarding, sorry, they'll just be stand guarding, just waiting to pop a down one off. And you can just go in, you know, and just clip them. Like so, and then go in. Now, again, it is a mix-up. It is a mind game. It's not something to live and die by, because again, if that gets blocked, I'm sorry. If that gets blocked, you know, you're in deep shit. You'll get comboed. And in some cases, you may even die, depending on which character you're playing against. If Baraka blocks that, say bye-bye to your health, honestly. So be careful. I'd only really do that if you spot your opponent's blocking up constantly. And maybe if they're really jumpy, so if you think you can just get a counter, maybe go for it. But aside from that, I won't even bother. I wouldn't even dare doing this offline, because it's so much easier. It's so easy to block offline. Online, however, even if the ping isn't spiking, you can trip a couple of people up, because again, no one uses Barking Irons really, so no one really knows the matchup to this character. I made a friend on Steam just because he wanted me to teach him how to beat Barking Irons, because he didn't know, because I just cancelled him to death on a block and he didn't know what to do. So that's something to bear in mind. You can do that, but again, don't live and die by the mix, because Barking Irons has so much more to offer. So and if you just do this, you know, you're playing the character very you're playing a very linear play style, and he offers so much more. So you won't be using the character to his full potential. So I wouldn't recommend you do that. What else can you cancel? Obviously, yeah, you can go into forward 2. Again, I've seen Fox do this. Not that. Tick, you can do that. You can do that. Everything I mentioned with the back 2 string, you can do here. You know? Go ham. If your opponent's respecting, go ham. That's the rule. If they're disrespecting, if they're getting out of your strings, be patient, wait, give them a reason to respect, and then go ham. That's basically what we want to do. The way I described it to my friend, who I helped out with the Barking Irons matchup, Barking Irons, Erron Black, is nothing more than a thief. That's all he is. He's safe on these strings, don't get me wrong, but who said it's his turn? I certainly didn't. No one said it's his turn, because it's not. If you play Cabal and you check the frame data, he's usually neutral of every single one of his cancels off his Nomad Dash. Sometimes you can make him like +2, maybe +3 even. In Cabal's case, it's actually his turn. Same with Jackie Briggs. You can make a -1, you can make a neutral. She can take a turn back off her cancels. Erron Black cannot do that. So what do? If your opponent disrespects, you know, just quickly mash something out, or wait. Go for your tick. You know, maybe. Go for it, you know, go in. give them a reason to respect, make them fearful, put them on the back foot, and then once you've gone in and done the deed, there you go. Open them up, put them down. That's all Erron Black is with Barky9. He's a thief, nothing more. He doesn't actually get turns, but you can take turns which your opponent can't get back because you'll tick them by then. So keep that mindset with Erron Black. Again, you have to be a good thief. If you're a bad thief, in which case if you're reckless, you'll just get comboed. You'll just get combo punished for your cancels. And you don't want that. So be a good thief. If you're a good thief, you'll be a good Barky9's player, in which case you'll be steamrolling a lot of people, because he can cause issues for a lot of players. And also some characters who struggle at this range. Barky9 excels here, especially if you can force your opponent respect, so bear that in mind. So yeah, other strings you can cancel. You can even back one, really. You're minus 15, so again, you're not safe. You are minus 8 there, so you actually... That's not too bad, but again, you're not safe, it's not your turn. You're totally not safe with back one, so I never really do this, if I'm honest. I just close distance, do that, go for a tick, or down 3 or something like I said earlier on. But one thing I do cancel off, 4-3-2, you're minus 1. You can this is the only string you can cancel off with Erron Black, Barky9, where you can legitimately take your turn and actually have a turn, get one for free. Because you're minus 1 and you have a 6 frame down 1, not a lot of characters were able to do much about that. I mean, Cassie... Hang on, let me show you some stuff here. So, if I record... and let's do that. We trade, Cassie can get it. But if I do anything else... So the forward 4, 9 frame mid will beat me. Okay, that's coming out all of a sudden. Okay. Okay, I did that way too late, hang on. If she does her auto shimmy at 1-1-1, Erron Black will beat her. You can trade. Cassie's forward 4 will win. Down 4 will trade. Down 1 can beat, but it can also trade if you do it a little late. You can't throw out of it. So Erron Black can actually contend legitimately off his forward 4-2. Forward 3-2, sorry. The only issue is you can flawless block that. I went over that with 52 card picker, but if your opponent isn't flawless blocking it, who cares, Just go in. If you think Cassie will do something, maybe go for a throw, see if you can pick or counter up. Go for a tick. Whoop, shit, sorry. Go for a tick. And the next time you get the string off, she'll be, conscious of the tick. So, and the tick, giving you a counter. So at that point, she might decide to respect, in which case, bang. You can start to build your pressure up off that string, and it works legitimately. And this is something I labbed. If you whiff forward, which is quite risky, but if it whiffs, you can make it neutral, in which case it's, who presses first, in which case Erron Black is a 6 frame down 1. If you mash that out, you take your turn. You can even make this, I swear to God, you can make it +1. Let me try and make it. No. This is quite tricky. Oh, I think I had it. No. Yeah, you can make it +1. That's pretty scary. I mean, I wouldn't whiff this intentionally because, if the whole thing whiffs and your opponent jumps over you and, catches you, you'll be losing a decent chunk of your life. However, I have done this in games where I feel like I've made this at least neutral, because unless you're playing against someone like Garrus who has a 6 frame down on the Sub-Zero, no one's going to be able to do anything. Cassie, in this instance, in a neutral setting, I mean, she can 9 frame mid, but my 6 frame down one will beat it. I mean, it probably would. I mean, Cassie, if you mash down once, Cassie can, I mean, Jax can do this as well. Other characters can, but, you know, it can keep you in check, and keep you in line. But if you make this neutral, you'll make it really hard for the opponent to actually get going. So that's something you can bear in mind. Every now and then it might be worth whiffing forward 3 just to try and get yourself neutral or +1 off that string, just to get going, you know. So bear that in mind. So that's his pressure. And I've gone over his ticks. Okay, now before I go into combos, well, this is kind of a segue into combos. Barking Irons has a mix-up, a 50-50, if you will. 52 card pickup doesn't. Barking Irons mix-up. Will I tick you, or am I going to hit you with back 2? Now, why is this a mix, might you ask? Well, this is a mix because to defend the tick, you have to crouch without guarding. To defend back 2, you have to guard. Do you see where I'm going with this? So if the opponent is anticipating a tick, and you just run up to them and they've just lost, you know, about 270, 261 damage points. You know, just because they guessed wrong. And if you feel like if you continue dashing in with a back 2, and your opponent thinks, oh, he's going to dash in a back 2, you can just tick him. That's a legitimate mix-up. You can mix people to death just by doing this. And because this is a throw, sorry, I'll set the wake up roll to be on. Get up forward roll. You can counter, you know, because it's a throw. By definition, it counters get up rolls, forward and backward rolls, as long as you dash in to catch them if they do a backward roll. But you can counter any roll option, because by definition it's a throw. So it has similar properties to these two, only you can't break it, and you can hit it on block. So that's really useful, also. So so you can really, if Barking Irons gets going, it's kind of a momentum-based character. If you get going, and if you start peaking, he can be pretty hard to stop unless the character has zoning abilities. But if you're in the face, and you don't give them breathing room to actually create space between the two of you, they're in a lot of trouble, believe it or not, because Barking Irons doesn't necessarily do a lot of damage. However, he does damage over time. Like, if you get hit by a couple ticks, you know, you get that. That's a throw and a combo, and nearly 500 damage has just gone. You know, that didn't take long neither. That was just, that's the 50-50. You fell for it, you paid the price, and I can close the distance instantly by you know, cancelling forward 4. And now I'm in your face again, which is exactly where, as the opponent, you don't want me to be, and I'm here. You're in trouble, basically, and you know, I could do that again and cut down even more health. So yeah, Barking Irons can be really effective in that sense because he does have a 50-50. So think of it as a bit of a coin toss. Am I going to do this? Or am I going to do this? You know? And if your opponent starts blocking, which, I mean, at some point they will, you can make yourself safe. And then you can do some stuff. Also, one thing to note, this is pretty cheeky. People can get annoyed because the tick throw has a long animation. For us, that's a godsend, because if you burn meter and you tick and amplify, you nearly have all your defensive meter, but you've got it back. You know, that's really cheeky. So you can just burn, confidently grab your opponent with a tick, amplify, maybe pull out your rifle just to occupy them for a couple of seconds, put it back. Again, you've caught them. And the throw takes a little bit, the forward throw, even his backward throw does. Oh look, I've already got a bar back and I just burned both. You see what I'm saying? So he can be pretty cheeky in that regard. So anyway, combos. That's what I was getting to. So back 2-2-2. Sorry. Back 2-2-2 into tick is an unbreakable combo. I shall quickly prove this. How do I do this? Breakaway on. Can't break it. I can jump in. Can't break it. Guaranteed damage. Which is very nice. With 52 card pickup, that's something you can't really do. You can break out of most of his combos, but in this instance, can't do anything. But yeah. So that's good. And that's pretty much the only combo you'll be using, if I'm honest. You can back 2-2-2 into rifle, but that's all you can really get, because we're not using 52 card pickup. You don't have the ability to hold up and cancel out of your rifle stance, as you can see. So you'll just be trapped in that stance, and you don't really want to be there. So you can just get out. You can just tick 200 combos. So that's all of his combos. I'm not even kidding. I'll quickly put him in the corner, then I'll go over Crushing Blow combos. And if Barking Iron hits Crushing Blow, he gets more damage than 52 card pickup. I'm not kidding. I'll demonstrate this in a second. But yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you this. You can do that. You can still deploy acid based off its slide, as long as you're using it in a combo string. To guarantee it, so you can do that mid-screen. Make sure your opponents have meter so they can break away from it, but even then, they might not break away from it anyway, because it's not really worth it. And then, again, if you just go on all, tick them, look at how much health you just lost. That's 49.99% of your health gone, just from one sequence, because of the acid and the tick. And again, if you think, oh, they'll guess that the tick is coming, run in and back to them again, and if they block it, make yourself safe. It's really cheeky. I love it. Okay, so let's go to combos, corner combos. So you can do... Oh, I love that. I love me a 2-1-2-1 tick. Big damage. Solid. Again, you're throwing them out the corner. That's one issue with Barking Irons. He doesn't really have a combo in it, which leaves the opponent in front of you. So yeah, you might want to be careful about that. If you don't want to throw your opponent out, you can do that. You know. Oh, hang on, sorry. You can do that. You can... Oh, this is kind of tight. Sorry. I'll get it in a sec. Ah! Dun, dun. Oh, missed. Bum, bum. Oh! I'm trying to tick at the end. There you go. Nice. That'll do good amount of damage. 350, 362. That's really good. I don't need to tell you that because the golden coin appeared. Good damage. So you can do that. And, I mean, that's going to stay the same. But you can, you know, always... To keep them in front of you, you can do something like that. Or you can Because of Barking Irons, back 2-4 all of a sudden now has a purpose. Because this is a pretty linear combo, there's not much you can do from there, but if you do this and cancel, you've all of a sudden unlocked a new dimension of what is actually possible. So let's go back to mid-screen for a second, because I actually forgot to show you some things you can do. You can do this. This is quite kind of tricky. You can do that. And by the time that finishes, you almost have your defensive meter back. It's a really nice looking combo as well. Again, I'd only do this if, one, you're really confident in your ability to do it, and two, if you know your opponent won't break away, or if they don't have meter to break away. Those are the only two instances in which I'll actually give it a go. But I would never even do it, to be honest, because I suck at it. What else can you do off there? You can do this. Sorry. Ah. Sorry. There you go. Yeah. And then you can go take him again. You know, it's really funny. It's kind of fucked up too. You know, if you get this character going, you can. There's a lot you can do. You can even do this. This is really hard. I almost had it. Oh. Okay, hang on. You have to let the trick is you have to let them drop just enough so that the tick actually works. Yikes. That's not gonna work. That could have, maybe. Yeah, there you go. Pretty solid damage, nearly 300 you're hitting there. So, as far as mid-screen potential, it's about as good as you're gonna get, I think. If you watched combo exhibition video, you'll see people who'd be able to get more. But as far as I'm concerned, that's the best. But that's still the most practical. And you can't break it, so that's a plus in itself. Right. Let's go here. You can do stuff like this. You can do that. Again, you're throwing them out of corner, but you're getting some decent damage, and you're getting a pretty cool looking combo. So yeah, that's pretty much all Barking Irons combo potential until we load up these crushing blows, in which case, oh boy, kiss goodbye to a large chunk of your health. I'll give you an example. Look at this damage. 375. Gone. That's a lot of damage. Jesus Christ. Obviously, you could do 4-3-2 into your slide also if you want. And to be honest, this is more practical because you're leaving your opponent closer to you, and you've got the assets, so you can set them up. That's practical combo ender, but only amplify it really if you just want to cash out and get as much damage as you can. Either that or to end the game, in which case you'll be cashing out anyway. So if you want to go for the cash out amplify, if you've hit this at the beginning of a game, don't amplify it, because you know if the opponent's got good zoning potential, you've kind of killed yourself because you've left this much distance between the two of you. So don't do that. Whatever. Okay, so that's the thing. If you get the rifle crushing blow, you can do this. This might be hard to hit. No! Damn. Oh, I should pick a male character for this, I think. What? Oh, I thought I had it. Not a big deal. I really thought I had it then. What, like? Ah. Also, if you're wondering, that's that into the rifle. That's the only thing that actually works off 2-on-2-on-2. To my knowledge, I mean, I've labbed other things, but that's the only thing I can get to work. Boom! Yeah, there you go. There you go. Bang. Look at this damage. Jesus fucking Christ! That's nearly 400. With a character who could only do that raw. That's a big leap in damage. I don't need to tell you that, but I will anyway. Again, down 2. Lots of damage. About 390. 390. That's nearly 400. 52 card pickup simply cannot do that. You just can't. Because 52 card pickup doesn't have access to that combo ender, which we do in Barking Irons. Well, can you do this? Hang on. Whoops, sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Again, you know, this will be over 400 damage. 427, that's a lot of damage. You know? Okay, we can do this. Oh, damn it, sorry. You don't have to dash as much off of back 2-2. As you can see. Again, solid damage. About 370, 378, yeah. Loads of damage. So his mid-screen potential is ridiculous. His corner potential is even more ridiculous because you can 2-1, 2-1, 2-1 tick. So I should now show you. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, that, not working. I got a bit excited. That camera jolt though, do you see that? 386, big damage. Right, this should work. Big damage again. And then again, you can tick them. Throw them back in the corner. Look at all that damage. You know, they're near to fatal blow range at that point, so that's huge. What else can you do? Yeah. Oh, bollocks. Sorry about that. Ah! There you go. Oh, I botched it. Why? There you go. Over 400. Easy peasy. 430? Yeah, 434. That's huge. I don't need to tell you that, but holy fuck! Compared to 52 card pickup, that's a big jump in terms of crushing blow combo damage potential. So Barking Irons does, even though his you know, his regular damage output is pretty low, if I'll be honest, but he kind of has he has the you know, it's in the hole in terms of crushing blow damage, because he can make your health just zap away, just like you know, you can just quick draw and bang, your health's gone before you know it. So there is a threat of that, which again, because lots of people haven't played against Barking Irons players, they won't know that. And if they don't have any breakaway meter, they're in trouble. So as long as you master those combos, which aren't really hard to do at all, to be honest. The trickiest part probably is just getting the tick to work, and the 2-1 into thingy off the 2-1, 2-1, 2. But as long as you master that, you're in a really good spot because you know, it's like the rifle in the back. You know, Black has the revolvers, but then you know you just got this big gun just waiting to be used. That's kind of what the crushing blows offer you in terms of overall damage potential of the characters. Just you just have this, you know, massive. You know, you just have this colossal quantity of just damage just waiting to be used, and all you need is a trigger, crushing blow, just to trigger it, just to get it started, and that's it. You're off. So, yeah, definitely watch for that. So, again, the force blocking is the same, wake ups are the same. So, the $1 million question here is: Barking Irons better than 52 card pickup? Now, the simple answer is no. He still isn't. I've watched one video where one person made a video on Barking Irons, and he actually offered that Barking Irons is more superior than 52 card pickup. I disagree, simply because Barking Irons, like I said at the beginning of the video, he can be counterpicked and just abused. If he doesn't have any ammo in his rifle, even the Ass Queen Cassie could abuse him just with back forward 1. Even though you could duck it, but you know there's still something you can do. And if that was Digital Soldier, you'd be screwed at this range. You'd be absolutely screwed. 52 card pickup, however, would actually be able to contend. Here, however, and even here at this range, Barking Irons really comes into his own, and he can do things that 52 card pickup simply cannot do. You're basically given another dimension in which you're able to explore and, you know, come up with different ways to completely mangle your opponent with 50-50s and just options. So he's not better than 52 card pickup in some regards. If you can get him going, he can be more superior at this range in particular. And sometimes, I mean, I do believe Barking Irons can be more overwhelming to deal with than 52 card pickup. Again, if the snowball is rolling and it gets bigger and bigger, and if it's about to peak, you know, your opponent can be just absolutely bewildered by what's going on. They want what to do. That's, I mean, my friend. I mean, like I said earlier on, I made a friend on Steam just because he wanted to add me, just so that I could help him deal with Barking Irons pressure, because he didn't know what to do. And even when I told him the frames for all these moves, how you know you're -17 off of 2-1-2-1, you know, off of this, I was still doing this to him in game despite him having that knowledge, and he still wasn't able to deal with it. So Barking Irons can be really overwhelming in certain senses. So is he better than 52 card pickup? No. If you're looking to be an Erron Black player, obviously I'd say depending on which version you have more fun with, pick that if you want to use tournament variations. If you really want to get good with the character, I'd highly recommend learning both of them, because both of them offer something different. Both of them bring something to the table that the other version simply just doesn't bring. I mean, having a tick is huge, and having the cancel to go with it, you know, that can really be effective, as I just demonstrated. So I'll have a game with Barking Irons online. Then I'm going to make some lunch because my stomach has been growling for the past hour. I'm really hungry. Okay, so again, I'll have a game, show what Barking Irons is capable of doing. Please accept. Okay, nice. I need some water. Oh my god. I haven't talked this much in a long time, honestly. Throat is as dry as the bloody Gobi Desert. Okay, Barking Irons. Okay. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Alright, again, this is a bit of an issue because Johnny Cage can zone me. But if I keep in his face, it won't be much of an option. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Search. Oh, this is a version where you can get some huge combo damage potential. You have to hit the camera like 3 times in a row, then you get a crushing blow that triggers. I've seen the some combo potential of this character, and this variation in particular is pretty cool. Tick. Tick. You see what I mean? Guess wrong. Tick. Okay, nice. Delayed wake up. Nice jump. Ooh. Oh, that was really close. He made a good comeback. That was a nice combo. Oh, I'm gonna try not to get too happy. Again, counter. Nice. Gotta throw him again. Throw him again. There you go. That's Barking Irons for you. Gonna tick him. So again, I kind of flustered him. He didn't really know what to do, and he's a pretty good Johnny Cage player. I mean, that combo really caught me off guard. I honestly thought, I'm surprised he didn't cancel into his fatal blow and just kill me, to be honest, because I'm pretty sure that would have done the job. Anyway, sorry, I'm only playing one game. GG. And yeah, that's how you play Barking Irons. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this is my last week off for going to university, so I'm not going to be posting for a long time anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to leave you all this before I actually went back. And yeah, to any other Erron Black mains out there, if there's anything anything you know which could, add to the knowledge that I already possess, or if then please again share your thoughts down in the comments below. And if I've in any way helped you, then yeah, that's awesome. And maybe leave your thoughts down in the comments below and let me know how you're getting on. If you're getting stuck with anything, maybe I could help you out down in the comment section below as well. If you're struggling with any particular aspects of variations or just matchups, anything along those lines. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. This has been Sides and Knives. I am absolutely starving. I'm thirsty, so I'm gonna take care of that, and yeah, hope you all enjoyed. So take care, and I'll see you all later.